on this particular bill, which was perpetuated by one of the media houses, and I think many members have seen it. The Public Audit Amendment Bill of 2024. And you have seen in the media, and I think this was perpetuated by one of the media houses. I don't know whether it was a fake story or a real story, because what was initially circulated had the banner of one of the media houses, and consequently picked up by the media, alleging that the National Assembly has drafted a bill that is taking away the powers of the Auditor General, following the pronouncements that the Auditor General had done in her normal audit reports, which are before this House and before committees of this House, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when that happened, the usual characters on social media picked it up and spiraled it out of control, alleging very absurd things and very unconstitutional things that were being done by this bill. And I thought it was important that we set the record straight on the import of the Public Audit Amendment Bill of 2024, which, as I've said, was published in January of 2024, not January of 2025. Therefore, if anyone imagined, as they have been saying on social media, that this bill was targeting the Auditor General because of her recent report, it is very far from the truth. But it is this campaign of misinformation and disinformation, Honorable Speaker, that saw this House suffer immensely in terms of reputation and interference with our work that led up to the events of June 2025 because of a campaign, deliberate campaign of disinformation. Honorable Speaker, in this light, it is this light of sensationalized, inaccurate, false, misleading reports that the bill seeks to remove the Auditor General from office. And nothing could be further from the truth. Honorable Speaker, the office of the Auditor General, as we all know, is an independent constitutional office whose tenure and independence is well protected in our Constitution under Article 229 of our Constitution. And that is why, even in my response on Twitter or on X, I told them there are certain unconstitutional things anyone cannot even fathom that can be done through an act of parliament like this. Honorable Speaker, the bill seeks to amend the Public Audit Cap 412B in order to align it with the Constitution following a declaration issued by the High Court in the case of Transparency International Kenya versus the Attorney General and two others of 2018, petition number 388 of 2016, the Transparency International Kenya case. That's sections 4.2, 8, 12, 17, 1, 18, 27, 40, 42, and 70 of the Public Audit Act, Cap 412B, are unconstitutional. And that is a court that ruled that. And therefore, all that this bill sought to do is to align, or rather to correct the unconstitutionality of what was found to have been unconstitutional in the bill that had been passed earlier in 2016 in the last parliament. In the Transparency International case, Transparency International TI Kenya, the petitioner filed a petition against the Attorney General and the Auditor General and the Africa Center for Open Governance, AFRICOG, as first and second interested parties, respectively. The petitioner challenged constitutionality, the constitutional validity of sections 4, 2, 7, 1G, 9, 12, 14, 17, 18, 18 subsection 3, and the entire part 3. That is section 25, 26, 27, sections 40, 42, 68, 70, and 72 of the Public Audit Act, Cap 412B. Justice Chacha Mwita held that sections 4.2, 8, 12, 17, 1, 18, 27, 40, 42, and 70 of the Public Audit Act, Cap 412B, were inconsistent with and in contravention of the Constitution and were invalid. Honorable Speaker, this is the reason why we had this bill, so that we could align the Public Audit Act to the High Court declarations. I have looked at the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning's report that was tabled and its proposed amendments to the bill. And I have not seen anywhere of a proposal to remove the Auditor General as head of the National Audit Office. In any case, when the Auditor General, Honorable Speaker, appeared before the committee and she made representations before the Finance and National Planning Committee. She never indicated that the bill sought to remove her from her office. The committee report is publicly available and on the parliamentary website. And again, in my ex-post, I did indicate so that Kenyans may be appraised of accurate information regarding the business, either before the House or that is speculated to be before the House. Because I have also seen others speculating that there are bills touching on border borders in the National Assembly. And the bill that was proposed about border borders was proposed by the senator for Kakamega in the Senate as a private member's bill. Honorable Speaker, it is my plea that in reporting business that is before the House, and it's my plea to our very good journalists in the Fourth Estate, when you are reporting business before the House, please report accurately, maintain the highest levels of journalism standards with accuracy, and refrain from having sensational stories that are only geared towards inciting members of the public or selling your otherwise slow-moving newspapers. Honorable Speaker, I want to end my statement there, but again, to appeal to everybody, including Kenyans, and inform them that any business that is before this House, whether it is a motion, whether it is a bill, it is publicly available on our website. And that bill on the website, at the back of each bill, it has the objects or the reasoning behind the bill. So you do not need any journalist or anybody on social media to interpret things for you. Just read. And I believe our drafters, both in the National Assembly, in Senate, in the Attorney General's office, use very plain and simple language for any Kenyan to be able to read and understand. And I believe also, Honorable Speaker, I have seen some platforms where our bills are being translated in Swahili for those who are not able to read them in English. And therefore, there is no reason why people should be circulating false, inaccurate, misleading, and insightful statements purporting that anybody wants to remove the Auditor General. And I say that with immense respect to the Auditor General and the Office of the Comptroller of Budget, Honorable Speaker. As much as I saw yesterday, MCAs from Nairobi are now demonstrating outside the office of the Comptroller General, Comptroller of the Budget. And Honorable Speaker, if I could also, in closing, implore on these independent offices, Honorable Speaker, when I saw what the MCAs for Nairobi County were doing, it is something I know, and you know, I am the last person to speak for governors, Honorable Speaker. But the Office of the Comptroller of Budget needs to style up. Ask any governor in this country, they have to go through hell to get their monies approved for use in their counties by the Office of the Comptroller of Budget. And many will tell you, without parting with money, without paying bribes to officers in that office, governors never get justice. And I say this, Honorable Speaker, because the other houses are the ones who should be speaking about this issue. But because I saw it in the media that MCAs now have taken it upon themselves, the MCAs from Nairobi County, to go and demonstrate or seek for justice, especially around money that should be going to their constituents in their wards, and they can't get approvals, Honorable Speaker. And it's not just Nairobi County. Across the country, governors and county governments are suffering because of inefficiencies and corruption in the Office of the Comptroller of Budget. But because they're independent offices, they imagine if anyone speaks about them, the whole world will come crumbling down, saying, oh, you're attacking independent offices. Their independence can never go without being checked, and it is only Parliament that can check these independent offices, and even the Office of the Auditor General, Honorable Speaker. The Auditor General reports to Parliament. That is why her reports are sent to the National Assembly and the Senate for those that relate to counties, for them to offer an opportunity to the MDAs, the ministries, departments, and agencies of government to appear before our oversight committees and answer to all the issues that the Auditor General has raised. And therefore, when again people pick sensational issues that are in the Auditor General's report without paying any attention to the responses by the management of the MDAs, Honorable Speaker, then we run the risk of sensationalizing everything about the running of public offices in this country. And therefore, we must call for accountability even in these offices, Honorable Speaker. And I want to take the opportunity, even as we correct the misinformation, to call for accountability even within our independent constitutional office like that of the Comptroller of Budget. And I have said it, Honorable Speaker, and I am certain if our governors had the forum like I have here, they will tell you they are suffering. Speak to any governor, they will tell you they have to bribe officers in that office of the Comptroller of Budget to get their expenditures approved. And that's why you've seen MCAs really crying out on behalf of the people that they represent. Because MCAs are people's representatives like members of parliament. They represent constituents who are waiting for drugs to get to hospitals in their wards, children who are waiting for bursaries. As much as, again, I hear there was something else to do with bursaries coming from the counties, Honorable Speaker. But we must speak for these people, because if we do not, Honorable Speaker, it then becomes fashionable in our sport to just talk about the sensational reporting that is out there, but nobody is holding to account these independent officers. But that is our mandate, and we must do it. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Jonette.
Mr. Speaker, I want to add my voice to what the majority leader has raised, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this matter of the audit, the bill, has been sensationalized, Mr. Speaker, so much in the country.